Yes, it is Marvel Contest of Champions news time. Thank you very much for tuning in to Marvel Contest of Champions news. And make sure you hit notifications on, because my notifications for these videos don't go out to sub boxes. So it'd be nice, obviously, for people to see the videos now and again. But anyway, we're going to be talking in this Marvel Contest of Champions news about lots of different things. I said to myself, Rich, you can have a quiet Wednesday, you can have a quiet Thursday. It's going to be completely chill. You'll be able to enjoy the England game. Well, I didn't enjoy the England game, but the fact is I'll be able to have a little bit of a rest. No, that's not going to happen because a lot of stuff happened. So we had the Alliance Wars changes. We had the boycott thing. We had so many things with this new peak milestone thing. There's so much to cover, and we've had new drops of the new event for next month. So without further ado, let's get into a jam-packed Marvel Contest of Champions news. Now let's begin with the Wasp as well as Ghost. As we know, the Ant-Man and Wasp film is about to be launched in cinemas, and at the same time we've got an event to match that, as well as new champions, Ghost and Wasp, which obviously is right here. These are what the champions look like. And a trailer has been dropped in order to coincide with this bit of information. So Marvel Contest Champions dropped this trailer, and there's lots of things in there, so there's a lot of things to kind of talk about. You've got PIM canisters making a return. If you remember PIM canisters back in the day, my old school players will know this. They were used to get into arenas, and they were quite cool for a time. They limited down the spend in arenas and people's kind of focus time in different stuff. Like if you had a lot of PIM canisters, it's like saying the red Deadpool tickets. If you said you could do like one round of 3 with one ticket, that was how the PIM canisters worked. So it's nice to see them back, but unfortunately they're in a different type of usage. You get these kind of special PIM discs which allow you to then get into certain special events, and at the same time you can then get these crystals which are kind of like micro in the amount that you get out with them. But there's more explanation with this in this particular trailer. They go into great detail, so through the month you're going to see some fun things in the micro realm. This trailer also shows information about Wasp and Ghost in the way they work. We've got stuff with block break with Ghost, and stuff with well, breaking a combo with Wasp. So yeah, changes a few things in particular for the contest moving forward with certain champions. And there's already been a feedback for Ghost being entered into the game. So this is quite unusual that feedback has already been given about a champion. But a lot of players are feeling very indifferent about this. Part of them are saying like, well, is this going to be a bit annoying for stuff like Alliance Wars? Is this not? How is this gonna like work? It's nice to see it, but they're a little scared. Lots of different emotions and feelings about these particular champions being added in. If you have want to have your say, then go to the forum link in the description and have your say on this article. Next up, there's been a lot of talk over the last 24 to 48 hours about boycotts and lockout events, in order to make it aware to Kabam that we're not overly happy with a lot of things in the game. I'll go into more detail about this in this video. As you can see, we're in the same thing. It's because it was recorded on the same day, obviously. Now, there's a lot more elements to this. Links are in the description for this video, which allow a bit more, evidence to support certain things. As well, I look at both of the points of view from Man of Legends as well as Matt, and talk about the grand scheme, no pun intended, about this whole boycotting event for 2018. The fact is, we don't really know when this is going to take place, but I think things are changing all the time. So make sure you're locked to the channel. She will be covering things as we go. Next up, let's talk about Alliance quest changes. A lot of things have gone on to improve this, and we're going to talk about reward side of things, map side of things, and map side of things right now. So if you're just starting off, you're in a new alliance, you're doing maps, you'll notice that the difficulty level is kind of like, it's okay, you're barely getting there, and some are getting there, and as you make progression, you'll find it get a little difficult. Now, Kabam, what they've done is they've taken the information about getting onto that and kind of improving your alliance grind in maps, and they've made a few changes. These can be displayed here, so do check them out in this forum post. Right the way from map 1 to map 5, we've seen things being improved and changed. There's also things that they feel that they won't be overly noticeable in, say, map 5, and a lot of people do map 5. Map 6 hasn't been touched, which is good. It's a very expensive run for map 6, so yeah, I'm kind of glad in some ways they haven't made too many changes over the years, or sorry, over the months with that. Alliance quest improvements see an improvement to rewards. So rewards get better from the point of grinding out. So the peak milestones thing, this is the new addition to the game. We'll cover this in the next article. But the main thing to really say about this is doing away with the promotions, demotions side of things. You know, you need to go up to this bracket to go to this, to this, to this, in order to get the best stuff from here. No, it's like all one in type deal where you kind of grind out. Obviously, the more points, the more you're going to get from this. The rewards have been buffed, so theoretically it means some sort of resource improvement. It may not be as much as, say, endgame players would really like, but it is an improvement nevertheless. And one of the massive positive out of this is the fact that glory will improve. So the amount you grind out, the more that you get glory wise, which is the big thing about, you know, how you spend stuff with alliance potions, alliance like health potions for stuff, and general resourcing yourself, whether or not it's potion side of things or it's catalyst and alphas and kind of like tier 4 and maybe hopefully tier 5 in a future catalyst. Also, the glory store has been buffed in accordance with these changes, so it's good to see reductions in costs, the amount that you can get, which is again great for resource grind. All of these changes go live on the 7th of July. Your thoughts on these changes in the comment section below, or go to the forum posts and have your say about this. Are you happy about this? Do you think there's not enough resources in certain areas? Are you finding negative points in this? Do you think this is overly too positive? Do you think this is a response to a lot of people having the allegations about boycotting based on resource and lack thereof? Have your say on the matter. So a lot of things alliance related are seeing great improvements, especially when it comes to these peak milestones. The way they work, I think, is similar to back in the day. There used to be an event called Crystal Clash. I don't know if a lot of people remember that, and I may have got the name wrong, where the crystal spend equated to the whole alliance getting certain things, and I believe, off the top of my head, they were milestone related, and they were quite good. Now, I don't know if this is similar to that, in that what essentially it's doing is getting rid of rank rewards. There's a lot of things to really explain with these peak milestones that will hopefully give alliances and players a better chance of getting stuff and starting progressing a little bit further in their grind in game. And shout out to Droid Does for sending me this and this question that he posed to Kabam Mike, and that was, you know, if this is all based on alliance quests, is there something that's different that's coming, other types of things like the Crystal Clash thing that I mentioned? And the answer is yeah, there should be, and Kabam Mike is going to be sending that, or kind of talking to the team and seeing if that's something they could put in place, because essentially we don't want this all about alliance questing. We want other aspects of it as well. Rank up a certain type of champion, do this, do that, I don't know, sip a cup of tea in the arena, whatever. You know, there's so many different things in so many different aspects of the game that could be used for this, that allows your alliance to kind of target these events, saying, hey, well, what we're going to do is save this type of ISO this week to spend because this is part of an event, and it just gets people and gets alliances working together a bit more. Yeah, we've got alliance wars and you know, but it's nice to do this stuff that if an alliance isn't driven towards alliance wars, then they've got something else that they want to work to, and there are alliances out there that aren't driven to certain aspects of the game. So yeah, props if we can get this running, and props if we can then get different types of events like this. So on to alliance wars and the kind of retraction. Obviously, when this went out, it was met with criticism that the defender diversity would change, especially with players just really going, this is a bit too much, and maybe in the catalyst for a lot of people then feeling towards this boycott type aspect. And the one thing to really mention with this is it doesn't change the nodes aspect. Those kind of really killer nodes are still coming in. That's a big issue still. That is something that still would need to be addressed. And, you know, where's the testing platform for this? If internally it's been tested with Kabam, then who outside Kabam has been testing this? Because it may be a case when it goes live that players, doesn't matter what chart they are in the game, maybe Challenger or well, it's Challenger and Expert, it's up there. They're going to feel very differently to what those beta testers or testers internally in Kabam felt at the time when they were putting these in. And a general consensus around this, it's not meant to be 100% finished battle group event, so you don't expect to kind of get to the end. Again, goes against this kind of like, oh well, things should be concluded. yeah, hopefully in the end these things get aired out and we have a better type relationship with testing out these new things prior to them being launched in game. And next story, bug fixes galore. There's a lot more bugs that have been fixed this time around. Now, we've identified some of them throughout the time of Marvel Contest of Champions news, from the power issue with the power bar and grey would appear, and it's pesky, it's really annoying. There's a lot more. There's a lot more things. I'm not going to read them all out. Just go over to this particular link and have a look. There's a few things that are going to be changing the way you play certain champions, or what maybe you felt was chaining combos after a champion being knocked down. Now that's a bit annoying because I do like doing that from time to time, or kind of timing that in. But we'll see how that kind of functions with the game. Like I said, go on over and take a look at the long list of stuff that have been improved. Your champion, your favourite champion, may be among them, including Red Hulk, Bishop, which is one of mine, an issue with prowess, and as well as like Rogue. There's so many different ones that have been covered this time. It's good they've addressed them, but there may be some more to come. So that's been Marvel Contest of Champions news. I know a lot of people have asked me about my thoughts on people that have been banned for the kind of the units, buying cheap units, and I'm sad about that. I'm sad about it for them. I respect the fact that they manned up and they said, yeah, we did this, I'm sorry, but yeah, I mean, I've covered it in the past. Like, if you're getting pressure from your alliance to spend money, this kind of is wrong. It kind of forces the hand with the gaming addiction, and that I don't like. I don't think that's very good to force them. At the same time, it's at that point that they go, right, well, I understand they're in a difficult position as well, because if say they were getting kicked from Alliance Wars because they got because they didn't get the cheap units, or didn't get units, and they couldn't afford a whole load of units, then that's an issue, because they felt forced to do that because they wanted the rewards from Alliance Wars seasons, and by not doing as they're told, they would have lost out. They've been kicked. So I am disappointed that maybe there's that kind of pressure in the game. Obviously they're frustrated because they did it and they got the ban. I don't really know what further to say. They have manned up and apologized. I've said it before that you shouldn't do it, so this happens in the game. Essentially, that's it. And I'm saying essentially a lot. Anyway, thank you very much for watching Marvel Contest of Champions news. If you enjoyed it, hit that like button and subscribe for more Marvel Contest of Champions based content. I've been RichTheMan, and I shall catch you on the flip side. Bye bye for now.